Man is an animal that makes bargains. This is going to be one of the most profound quotes you've ever heard in your entire life. The reason for this is because it's really going to guide you into understanding why you need to specialize when choosing a career. The fact that man is an animal that makes bargains means that what we do as human beings is we decide on something that we're really good at. We develop our own value around it. We develop our skill sets. We accumulate resources, and we bargain those for other resources and for other services. So this is why specialization is so important when it comes to career. This is something that the majority of society just have no idea about, and they just don't understand this on a deep enough level. Everybody tries to be good at all of these different things without specializing in one specific area. And specialization is the key to developing a lot of wealth, to making a lot of money, to being really successful in business and in life. And I want to explain to you why exactly this is. Imagine that all that you did was focus on cooking like Gordon Ramsay. His whole life was just cooking. All that he did was just master the art of cooking. He wasn't distracted or focused on other skills and trying to become the world's best cleaner at the same time. All that he did was become the world's best cook. And now that he's world class, like one of the best cooks in the world, he can exchange his cooking skills, his cooking knowledge with the world to get any other resource that he possibly wants in the world. So if you specialize on one specific skill that is in high demand, that you just master and you become the best at it, you can then bargain and trade that skill and trade that resource, whatever it is, for any other possible resource that exists in the world. Like Gordon Ramsay's worth something like $100 million probably, or over that. And it's because all that he did was focus on cooking. Now he's got $100 million. He doesn't need to also become the world's best cleaner to clean his house. He just takes the money that he made from all of the cooking and specializing in one particular thing, and he gets the cleaner to come clean his house for him. He just pays for it. He pays for a nice car. He pays for the best mechanics in the world. He pays for the best everything else in the world because he specialized on one thing. And this is why it's so important for you when you're choosing a career to specialize in one thing, because if you do focus on one specific skill set, you get really, really good at that. People will pay you an insane amount of money for that one skill set if it's the right skill set and if it's in high demand. And then you can just basically use all of the resources that you get from that one skill set to gain any other resource or any other service that you want in the world. I mean, I'm honestly a great example of this because on my other YouTube channel, Apparel Success, all that I've done for the past 6 years is just master the art of creating startup clothing brands, how to build a clothing brand, running my own clothing brand. That's the only skill that I've been focused on truly developing, is how clothing brands work, how to build an amazing clothing brand, and all the little details that go into it. It's just extreme specialization and rare skills in that one very specific niche. And even though that niche is very small, the value that you can create if you really are world class at something, people are willing to pay for that. Like, they see the value in it and they're willing to exchange a lot of money to gain your knowledge and to gain your skill set. So the hard part here, I think, for a lot of people is really understanding what exactly the skill set is that they need to develop. And I think that the best place to start is to find a combination of where your aptitudes, your natural strengths, your natural skill sets and talents align with your passions. So other things that you're super interested in that you're also good at, and where there is a law of supply and demand working in your favor, where the supply is very low and there's a really high demand. This is where you can get a really high return on your time, on the skill set that you developed, and on the value that you have, is where there's a really low supply and a really high demand. And what's friggin' mind-blowing about all this is that the same economic principles that apply to real-world markets also apply to us as individuals living our lives behaviorally. Like, there's something known as resource allocation, where normal people that start up businesses, they have a limited amount of resources and they have to decide how they want to spend their time. How am I going to spend my time? What skills am I going to develop? What resources do I have at my disposal to start building a business that is actually offering value? And deciding on all of that introduces another economic principle known as opportunity cost. Whatever you decide to focus on, whatever lane you decide to specialize in, all of the time that it requires to go down that one specific route, you could be spending that exact same time going down another route that's completely different. And making that choice can be really difficult, and it leads to creating some really tough decisions in your life. And it's interesting how the opportunity cost and what you decide to do with your time and how you decide to specialize also introduces another economic principle known as barriers to entry. The longer that you focus on building one particular skill set and mastering that skill set, the harder it's going to be for other people to come in and compete with you. Because in order for them to compete with you, they're going to have to invest the same amount of time into developing that skill set that you have. Like when it comes to me speaking on camera and talking to the camera and going on these rants like this wasn't how I was the first time that I've done it. Now, after shooting 500 videos, editing them all of these skill sets that I have on YouTube, it's fairly easy for me to do this, but for somebody else to just come in and start competing, it would take a long time to really develop that skill set, develop the confidence, feel comfortable enough on camera, and all of the little details that go into it. So when it comes to me, who would I be to be talking about you need to specialize and become really good at one specific skill set and not share with you what it is that I plan on doing with my own life in the next 10, 20 years. And I think as of right now, what I really want to focus on and specialize in to become world-class at is online marketing. I feel like I have a bit of a knack for it when it comes to the psychology. It's really in line with my aptitudes. I've already put 7 years into building a successful clothing brand, into building a successful consulting business, and I want to just become a master at everything involved in online marketing to build online businesses. And so that's where my number one focus is in terms of specialization and becoming a master at it. And so that's just what I think is going to be a really valuable thing to know and to be able to offer other people over the next 10, 20 years. And so, I also think that it aligns with my passions and my skill sets. And so that's why I'm focusing on that. And you may see your own lane and see your own sort of focus. I really hope that this video offered you a ton of valuable epiphanies that you can take with you into your life, into your career as you move forward to help you just make more money, become more valuable, and contribute to society more. So I hope that helps.